simplest way to select stocks is based on the news, right? You can just find out what is the news, especially if you see once in a quarter. Once in a quarter, all the results are announced. So this is a well-known fact. Once in a quarter, whenever the results are announced, the major companies like Infosys, TCS, they are always on a very good momentum. Along with that, even the indices are also in a very good momentum. Indices, no doubt, if you see, they are always on a momentum mode, especially if you look at Nifty and Bank Nifty in India. And one of other thing where I was telling a lot of people and conducted a lot of seminars on this has been on USD INR, because daily we work on Nifty, daily we work on Bank Nifty, but there is one segment or one security which always gets affected along with Nifty is USD INR. It's a very low risk entries and low risk opportunities in USD INR that people can also watch. One of the seminars on currency I've conducted, you can just mail your interest so that I can just share that video with you if you have not attended that session. So results time, always keep watching on the top end companies or on companies where there is a lot of expectations, right? Especially if you see in the public sector banks like SBI and all, after NPAs, there can be some major changes in the performance. So that also can give lot of action on that particular security. So results can be one area where you can look at the top end companies for their performance announcements, and there will be a result calendar on NSE. You can just keep checking the NSE India website, where you can go and see the corporate announcements or the result calendar from this drop down menus. Here on the corporates, you can see the result calendar, so that you can make out like how to select the stocks. You can just take the top companies here, like Varun Beverages is a decently performing company on fundamentals. IFL Securities, little aggressive stock. Okay, so there's such companies you can select. Even if you see the 63 moons, if you remember, this was uh, uh, financial technologies earlier. Now it is 63 moons, that also has got a very aggressive moves. So results can be one of the ways for selecting the securities. Now, other thing is, most of us find that, uh, like on a particular given day, a particular sector moves. Like let us say today, the auto sector has been a good gainer, and most of the stocks on a particular given day, they make big moves. They move. Let us say it makes a positive move and makes a very strong move, right? Let us say generally like Maruti keeps moving fast on a particular given day. Now you feel that we missed this particular rally. One of the shortcut method what traders follow is just they go and short Maruti because it has moved a lot. It may not be the right way, because a trending stock, a momentum stock can move aggressively further and farther, right? Especially when they're in a trending phase. Even in a sideways activity, even if you try to get a couple of trades right, but a one wrong trade can take away all of your money. If you could see, most of you would have known about the developments on Tesla. So a lot of people made huge losses on Tesla now currently, because they had been shorting from around $400 and $500 also. But if you see the performance of Tesla in the last few days, not even months, few days, the performance of Tesla stock, you could see here from January 1st, which was around $500, right? Now you could see the move just within a span of 15 to 20 session. It's gone almost up to $900. So that's a huge loss. The guy who would have shorted around this zone. Okay, so it is wise to follow a follower instead of going short on a mad stock. Madness, I'm saying company is not mad. The way the movement is taking place is too mad, right? But that is not the way to go and short all out, to go and get big money on that. That's not the right way, because when a good stock it's associated with good results and good announcements, it may not be fair to immediately short because there has been some undue move on that particular stock. That may not be the right way. Instead, you can just look at some other stock which can be a follower to that stock. For example, I'll just show you this Panasonic Corporation, which is in the OTC markets in US. I'm just taking an example of US so that you understand it, right? You can see that, even Panasonic from 10th of January, okay, which is what, $9.38, it went to almost $11.70. It's about 20% movement in a few days on this particular stock. Now, what is unique about this Panasonic Corporation? The uniqueness is they have a tie-up with Tesla to supply the batteries. So if Tesla performance is good and the fundamentals are right and there is some developments in Tesla, there will be cascading effect on Panasonic Corporation itself, because it is one of the what you call OEMs, original equipment manufacturers, or what you call the ancillaries to Tesla, right? So directly there can be a relation in the performance of this particular security, where this can be a low risk entry for this particular security, right? So when you miss on Tesla, it's better to come to the what do you call the suppliers of that particular company. This is what I call leaders and followers. This concept is very uniform and very essential for all of us, because most of the times when the markets have done enough on the upside or it's on the trending phase, we always get confused, like we miss the rally. What are we supposed to do? And stock market is one place where you have got a lot of alternatives, a lot of opportunities, right? For example, if you take bullion, if gold makes big moves, there is only left out is silver, which really will follow the gold, may not be to the extent of gold. But in stock market, it's not like that. If Maruti moves, there can be other following companies which can move along with Maruti, like Tata Motors, because that is also serving the passenger cars like Maruti, right? All the passenger car segment stocks can start moving one by one. And today you can do one small exercise. I'll just show you one example so that you can just carry forward and check it out. When you go and check here on NSE India website, let us say Tata Motors, right? If Tata Motors is the leading stock here, just what you do is, once Tata Motors is moving well, you can just click on this. Just show you the gainers here. So once you click on Tata Motors or just go to the view all thing, you can check out which is the other auto sector company which is also in limelight along with Tata Motors. If this might be 10%, that might be 1% or 2%. So the other stock can do a catch-up work with Tata Motors. That can be an advantage for all of you to get into that stock, because it is not a wise decision to buy Tata Motors, which is 10% up today, and then go for the trade. Or even if you go for a short, it can be a risky one, right? So it is better to go for a stock which can follow the Tata Motors. And those who know charts, I'll just show you one simple thing. For example, I'll just first open Tesla. Okay, just click on Tesla here. This is the Tesla chart. Now I want to know, I'm not aware that Panasonic will follow Tesla or not. I'm not aware. So I just want to go and check whether this particular stock can move on par or in line with Tesla or not. So what I do is just I go and compare Panasonic, okay, Panasonic Corporation. See this Panasonic, okay. Now you can just zoom it out so that you can find out whether there has been a relation between Tesla and Panasonic Corporation or not. You can see, can you see the comparative here? So you can check the comparative of this security with this particular security, so that it gives you some confidence that yes, this stock does has a relation with Tesla, right? This is one of the good methods to identify the relation between this. Now if you're going deep into that, somebody who's having a very good charting software with little like Metastock or MT4 and all, you can just create a relative strength indicator using two securities so that you find whether they are going in line or not, right? This is one of the methods which is a shortcut method to check, because why I'm saying this particular point is when a Maruti is going up, it's very difficult to say, like, out of the auto companies, which auto company can follow Maruti, may be a confusion. So trial and error method is list out all the auto stocks, check out one by one whether it is following with Maruti or not. That is a one method, right? Otherwise you can just open the chart here, keep on typing in comparison the securities what you're looking at, like Hero MotoCorp or Bajaj Auto, whatever things you want to compare with Maruti, you can just type it out here and see whether there is really a comparison, right? Now I'm just taken an example of a leading security, right? Leading security. Now I'll just show you another method here. This is the leader and this is the follower. Okay, I hope everyone are with me, right? This is the leader and this is follower, right? Now there can be another method of a leader and a follower. Leader and follower. What can that be? I'll just tell you one thing. Bank Nifty is going up, right? Most of us go and buy ICICI Bank or HDFC Bank. It may not be the right thing. It can be SBI, which can be, giving momentum to Bank Nifty. So I need to compare. It's not always necessary that if Bank Nifty goes up, ICICI Bank will definitely go up, or it will definitely follow. It may not be to that extent or to that momentum, right? It can be the leading thing, which is SBI. That may be really leading the market. Okay, so that time what happens is you need to look in a different fashion. Like, you need to see Nifty, Bank, okay, right? Here I'm comparing with SBI, State Bank of India, and checking whether there is a relation between these two or not. So you can see this is Bank Nifty and this is SBI. So what is the extent of the relation between Bank Nifty and SBI? Because sometimes SBI really drives, we call it leadership in the particular sector. So SBI can give leading strength to banking sector. So that itself will give more strength to the Bank Nifty itself, right? So at a given point of time, we need to find out which is that security which provides that sort of momentum to Bank Nifty, or which is in leadership. That is very important for all of us on a given particular minute or a particular situation, right? Now this is from a short-term immediate solution perspective, right? Now when a lot of things have gone up and we feel that further they go up, then what happens is the following stocks like ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank, all those things can start giving that particular momentum, like SBI, like Bank Nifty tomorrow, right? So you should keep on watching, like what are those stocks which can give momentum to Bank Nifty today, because yesterday was the time for SBI to give that leadership. Will SBI further continue, or there can be stocks like HDFC Bank or ICICI Bank which can take that leadership today? That can be understood by finding a clue maybe somewhere around 3:15, 3:30 p.m., where by end of the day those stocks will start taking leadership. That will try to continue the next day. So keep a watch on the end candle, on the last candle on that particular day, where you can expect some movement going forward the next day on the next security which has started giving that particular momentum. That time what happens, the stock will be here, right? Because Bank Nifty has gone up, SBI has gone up. Tomorrow, if HDFC Bank and ICICI Bank are going to be the leaders, are going to really make that impact, then what happens is your ICICI Bank and HDFC might be here. It wouldn't have really made some great move yet. So it will start, giving a bigger candle here in the evening. That can start giving you some clue that yes, now it is the turn of HDFC and ICICI Bank to give leadership to the banking sector, right? So this is a simple clue. So identify, this is out of my experience and skill and sector leadership and sector rotations, which I generally follow to give you that particular input on selection of stocks. The another way to look at it is Maruti is leading, right? What can be the other stocks which can give leadership to the stocks once Maruti has done a big move? It can be the followers, can be the auto ancillaries, auto, because there are a lot of companies which are having a lot of buyback arrangement with Maruti. It can be the seating, right? It can be the batteries, okay? It can be the electrical instruments or right? Tires, so many things, right? Tires, okay? There can be some excellent engine suppliers, right? Batteries, seating, electricals, tires, so many things, right? Bodybuilding, anything, metals, because the whole of the auto thing is covered with the auto metal, right? So you have a metal bodies, so metals. So these stocks can be the followers within the Maruti. Now, in the last 6 months, you would have observed that initially there was the leading stocks like Maruti or SBI, HDFC Bank, or even if you come to IT stocks like Infosys, TCS, HCL Technologies, they were starting really giving the strength to the market somewhere between August and September, October period where Nirmala Sitharaman ji announced certain things, right? Later you could have seen slowly the focus was shifting into the ancillaries and mid-cap stocks, where these stocks are having a cascading effect on these particular securities. So you need to look at those securities which are going to catch up with the what you call leaders. So catching up act selections are very, very unique. Okay, these are for people who want to do smart trading, right? This is, once Maruti is a leader, you still want to work on that. You can still work on that, right? But you need to have that risk appetite, that experience, and that skill to trade, right? They have a lot of skill and a lot of trading what do you call skill to manage that particular security, because after this algo systems coming in, it's becoming tough for retailers to get the entry and exit right. So the movement is very, very fast. You need to catch it fast at the right point and exit at the right point. Otherwise, if within seconds the prices can change and you can make mistakes and finally end up with the loss. Your concept was good, but your trade is wrong. That situation can arise in the case of trading with a leading stock. right? Okay, so these things you have to keep in mind, that you should not get first disheartened. First, when you see morning, when the market would have opened like 100 points, 200 points up every 1 hour, most of us are distracted because we missed the rally, we missed the move for the day. It's not that. You need to be smart. You need to catch the right stock within the sector which can follow the market, which can follow the leader, which can resemble the performance of that particular leading stock within that security. And then concentrate on that security and see whether you can still find some more scope in trading this particular security. If you have experience and skill, you understand technicals, you understand the levels, then you can start looking at all those things going forward, and then see whether you can trade for the next stock, right? If you would have seen in one of the videos, I've given Nifty levels. Why I'm giving that levels is most of people are asking, so why don't you share us with some levels? So on and off, whenever it's comfortable and I'm working on Nifty levels, I'm able to share those particular Nifty levels, right? So those Nifty levels would have given you some clue. It may not be 100% always right, but at least it will give you some judgment, because those levels will help me to understand where is the right point for me. And even if market has gone up a lot, what can be the next level if it crosses the first level, right? So those who want to be with the leaders, you don't want to be with the followers, right? Then it is apt for you to get all the levels for that particular security before you take the trade, right? So you just prepare that particular levels for yourself on that particular stock, what you want to trade, which is the leader today. You can just go ahead, because if you're, let us say, if Maruti has crossed 7,000, it is headed towards 7,200, and you want to be with Maruti, you can just take that particular trade, keep a stop loss below that 7,000, because we have identified 7,000 is the unique level for Maruti, which is a crucial point. So you can just keep a stop loss there and then carry forward with the leader itself. Otherwise, it can be wise to look at those securities where they are catching up with Maruti, and you are going to have a very, what you call, low risk entries, and you are making a early entry when the trend starts, and then finally you, what you call, you drive the whole trend, right? So instead of me entering into a security like at this point, I would like to enter into another security which is at this point, right? Which can catch up like Bank Nifty tomorrow here. So my target will be huge and my risk will be low. Okay. All the smart traders don't take risky trade, don't take aggressive trades. Even if they take aggressive trades, it can be of small quantity if they're very sure about it. Otherwise, always smart traders, successful trader, consistent performers, they always look at the, what you call, the followers, in case the leaders have already done their job, right? So they try to do that, they enter here, right? Now, I think there is a announcement of monetary policy also. So on the monetary policy day, you again, there will be some announcement, there can be some great moves. Once suppose on the monetary policy the interest rates have come down by RBI, they bring it down, it's a positive for the market. So first, in the first second, there can be some huge volatility, later there can be trend which will get established. So what I'm telling you is, be smart, try to concentrate on leaders, try to concentrate on followers. Okay, there will be some more, after everything goes up, there will be still some laggards left out, right? So that also one can catch up, which can be generally, stocks with bad performance on fundamentals, or low key, low volatile, good fundamental stocks. That's also possible. So they also can go up. Like, for example, if you see in the FMCG sectors, most of the Hindustan Liver, Asian Paints, all those things are going up, right? Even your Dabur, Marico, all these things are doing well. It can be the turn of ITC at the last leg, which is also fundamentally good stock, can start doing that good moves later in the last stage. That chances are also still there. But working with leaders can give you definitely a good move and a good profit and a good risk, right? Followers can be little reasonable risk and decent profits. Laggards can be little riskier because you never know, because they move in the last leg, and you can't really expect that they can really make great moves or give great profits. But definitely there can be some risk involved with those stocks always, right? This is what happens. And for lovers of mid caps and small caps, right? First, always as usual, will be the large caps, right? When market goes up, most of the sectors will be there. In that sectors, like your steel, like your pharma, like your auto, all the sectors will start performing well, and all the leading companies will be with them, with the market. They really do well after the movement has been done enough on all those stocks and sectors. It will be the time for the mid cap to catch up. Okay, it will be the time for the mid cap to catch up. Then what happens is the last leg will be the small cap, which can be for a period of few days or few weeks, or maybe for sometimes few months also. So what happens is the mid caps will be the followers and small caps will be the laggards, and they move aggressively than the large caps. That's for sure. So that will happen there. So whenever how to know that? Simple logic. Just go to the 52-week high, right? When you see this list, the number of pages will increase like mad. And when you see all the 52-week high stocks, what is 52-week high stocks? The stock which has touched a price level which is higher than the last 52 weeks, that is the last 365 days from current level. Whatever has been the last 52 weeks high, that level has been crossed today. Those are the 52-week highs, right? So your number of pages will increase because each page will have around, I think if I'm not wrong, let me count, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 20. 20 are there here on this particular list, right? So 20 into 4 is 80 stocks are there, which are the 52-week high stocks for the day. Good. One is number of pages will increase. Good. And if you go through the stocks, like if you see here, Berger Paints, Bayer, Balkrishna, Bajaj Holding, okay, in this there are few large caps, right? And most of them are mid caps. Most of them are mid caps. So what does that mean? That there has been a major focus that is coming into the mid caps, right? If you take AU Small Finance, Amber Enterprises, Ajanta Pharma, okay, Adani Enterprises, Aegis Logistics. So there are a mix of large caps and mid caps, right? But mid caps are more in this. So what does that mean? That means today the leadership is in mid caps. Yes, large caps will move, but mid caps are really what do you call leading in the market today. That is a scenario in the current scenario. So that's how we can make out that mid caps are really doing decently well in the current scenarios, right? So after this, when you see the list again after consistently on the 52-week high list here, okay, there you will see a lot of small cap stocks will be coming into the 52-week high. Okay, and even if you go to the live market and again to the volume gainers, okay, here also when you see there will be a lot of small caps or mid caps which will be in the list. That also will tell you that today the current leadership seems to be in the mid caps and the small caps, or maybe the small caps, mid caps, as the case be. After studying all this picture, you can make out, like a company's how to identify a small cap and all. If you see the list of the stock which is slightly known company, that indicates it can be a small cap, right? Because they are not well known, so that can be a small cap stocks. And there the volumes also will be lower, right? Because when you compare with the large caps and the small caps, the volumes are entirely different because people would go for more of a large cap than a small cap, right? And in small cap, when there is a madness, automatically the volumes will be far higher than your average volumes. You can see the average volumes is 65. Here it is 18 lakhs. Spandana Spurti Finance, right? So there's a huge movement in this particular stock in the finance sector. So this can be a huge stock which is doing extremely well today. So that is some indicating that there are a lot of mid caps and small caps which are in operation along with large caps, but large caps are doing decently well, but these are really leading the market. So you need to select stocks in that particular way. When you see Spandana Spurti Finance is really doing 52-week high, as a trader, you can trade in this particular stock, knowing the levels, keeping a strict stop loss and doing your trade carefully. Second thing is, who are the competitors of Spandana, or who are the stocks within that particular sector? You can just look at that particular stock and then look at it. Okay, you can just check that. Now, a lot of people ask, sir, where do I see all these stocks? Where can I see? You can just go here, click on the index. Okay, I just want to know the leaders in large caps. Just click on Nifty 50, right? You can see all the stocks are here. Okay, now I want to go for Nifty mid cap, right? You can see all these stocks. A lot of people keep suddenly asking me, sir, how to find this stock is in which security, or what are the stocks are in this particular sector. You can just check it out here, mid cap 400, right? You can see so many. You can also see the advances, see the declines. 145 stocks are higher than price than yesterday closing. 101 stocks are lower than yesterday closing. That itself shows, out of all these things, the advances are more. So it's very clear that mid caps are in in limelight. You can see all this. Okay. So selection of stocks can be done from this particular option on NSE India website. This NSE India website is the old website, right? Now what generally you can do is just go to NSE India. There's a new website of NSE. So what I do is just click here, you go to the old website, because still NSE India new website, some people may not be really comfortable with. So till then you can just keep working with this on the old website, which can give you some easy and faster way to work on this particular stocks, and then keep finding the right stock in the right time. And better to select the best stock and a comfortable stock, and check if the volumes are decent enough and good companies fundamentally or not. Like Sudarshan Chemicals is a good company, right? So that's a good company. And Sudarshan Chemicals can be also be in limelight because after China's problem, the activity is less. Most of the specialty chemicals what China produces, Sudarshan Chemicals can get an opportunity because there is a poor activity in China, and a lot of activities are coming down because of that coronavirus, right? So these can be beneficiaries of all that problems that are going through China. So those things can be looked at, right? So these are the ways to look at. So always a good performing company like Tesla, just go to the immediate tie-up companies which can really do well along with that particular company, so that you can look at all those securities to trade, so that you can catch up. First thing is, when the security goes up, don't get panicked, don't get excited, and uh, don't get worried, right? And don't be in a speculative mindset. Just stay calm. If you stay calm, your thoughts will work. You will go to the right security. If you are in stress and you want to do some trade, it will not work. Okay, you need to follow the leaders, you need to follow the followers to get the right security first, right? Next, get to the levels, get to the comparative mode. That will give you some clue. Is it worth for me to buy Bank Nifty here, or worth to buy a stock which is trying to pull up from here and which has got a lot of relation fundamentally also with this particular index? And this security which you're trying to consider buying or trading at this point, which is that security is standing here, it should be a fundamentally good company or a good brand, good branded company, which most of us can relate it, right? Such companies, if you do not know that company, you want to have some more awareness, you can just immediately go and find out about that particular security before you really take a trade. That's what all of us are supposed to do, right? Some arrangement that, because Tesla, one of the major performance for Tesla is because of its electric cars. Then who is going to be the key guy who's going to get that beneficiary? Because Tesla would have dependent on somebody for providing that technology, providing that service, providing that product. Your mind should work on that, not on just working on Tesla and getting into too much of a risk, right? If you have a risk appetite, that's a different case. You have the skill, that's a different case. You can definitely still manage, but you can't do bigger quantity, right? When Tesla has gone up a lot, so you'll be having some problem in trading Tesla. So it can be easy, or you would have exited Tesla early and it's still going up. You don't have that guts to pick up Tesla at that level. Then what can be the alternative? When the security has gone up here and you exited here because it has done enough, see, you can see almost from $200 it went to $400, $500. Your money is doubled. You would say, let me get out, it's done too much. After that, it still keeps going up. Now you're disappointed. My God, what is happening? Okay, so what you should do, you should try to see who are those guys who can still get that beneficiary. If you do not know who is going to follow, because it's difficult to check out who is the guy who get benefited after this Tesla thing. Tesla moves, it can be the other companies who can be the gainers tomorrow, right? So what you should do is, next day when you go here, just check out the gainers here, or maybe in the mid cap, next 50, or all these things. If you check out these things in these segments, those stocks can be there which are having that tie-up with Tesla. If you do not know, I'm just saying, like Panasonic is a stock which is having a tie with Tesla, one of the companies which is having with Tesla. It's a known fact to me, so it's easy for me to search. But if I don't know that Panasonic has an arrangement Tesla, I definitely have a problem. Then I can just see whether one of the top gainers from this segment can be having a relation with Tesla. I can just go and dig it out. What is the relation with this particular company with Tesla? And then if that relation is unique, then as I told you, compare here and see whether is the relation right. Is that relation giving that strength to this particular stock? Check it out, compare, check for yourself. Is it really working? It's really working, then you are in the right stock in the right time, right? So you should do that. Maybe you need to be a little smarter and faster. So you should gain that skill of searching the security right, and then finding out that you have sufficient time, because today the stock has gone up a lot, you missed it, so whole of evening is left out till the next day morning. You can do that searches so that you can find out the right security at the right time. Yeah, so just believe in this leaders, followers, laggards for the stock selection. If large caps goes up, next leg can be mid caps and small caps can be the last leg. After that, again, there can be a collapse in the market, right? Similarly, if you're doing the index, go with the leading stocks. The leading stock always doesn't need to be a big company. It can be a one of the companies in that particular leg. Like it can be HDFC, it can be ICICI, it can be SBI. We don't know. We need to check it out. Then again, if it is a leading stock, then you can see the other competitive companies which are along with this particular security. You can trade in that particular in the next leg, so that you get the selection of that stocks faster. If you don't know all these stocks, all these securities, as I told you, you can just go to this point on the live market, go to the index, okay, click on that sector, you will get all the stocks here, right? Again, if you want only auto stocks, click here, okay. If you want only banking stocks, click here, okay. And even if you see this particular stock, the stocks are what you call filtered. They are filtered as per the performance of the security. Today, like yesterday, S Bank was the top performing stock in the banking sector. The next top performing stock is SBI. This gets updated every 3 minutes. So you can keep watching which is the topmost performing stock within the banking sector today here. So just keep a track of all these leading following stocks on that particular sector on the NSE website. Okay, and keep thinking, like, what can be the stock of which can follow like that. Can I just go with this particular leader itself? Just think for a second and see what you can do the best, so that you are on the right stock at the right price and enter and exit at the right level, so that you are always consistently profitable. Okay, so it's happy trading for all of you. I hope this inputs can give some good insight into all the performances and identification of the stocks. If you could see, in many cases, I've been circulating some important elements for all of you to find some best opportunities, like when railway budgets, because budget time railway stocks always during the budget time they perform well. And I remember giving you IRCTC to focus on, concentrate on, and you could see the stock has almost in the last 15 days or 1 month, it has moved 50% up. It was around 1,000 rupees, and it moved almost 15% up, 50% up in the last few days. Okay, I shared on my status about focusing on IRCTC, right? And it has moved almost 50%. And given nifty levels and on and off some good securities to concentrate. When markets were going for the budget, since there's going to be huge volatility, suggested about Infosys. Keep a track of Infosys, because it can be of good bet, because the results are good and they have given very good guidance. And you could see the stock is performed very well in the last 15 days with a low risk trade opportunities in Infosys in the last 1 month. You can just see the historical performance of this particular strategy in the last 7 days. Okay, you could see it's always maintaining around 780, 789, 790, right? So the volatility has been stable and the stock has been performing stable even in this highly volatile scenario during the what you call budget time. So you need to know, right? And even on budget time, the bottom levels for Bank Nifty, I think one of the bottom level I suggested was 29,600, and then Bank Nifty moved from 29,615 on the spot. So these things are what, on and off, whenever I understand certain things, I share on my status and in some groups and to some people. So do keep track of that. If it gives some value to you, you can just consider looking at them and doing your trades right. Okay, so with this I complete my thing, what I want to tell you. Any doubts, anything you want to share, you can discuss, not a problem. I can give you a couple of minutes time. If you want to speak, you can unmute and speak, or you can also chat here.